All right, ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Greene, please get this video out far and wide. The world sits on the edge of the precipice of possible first strike in Taiwan. I'm going to go to a few articles today. This one is from AP News. As tensions ratchet, as we saw Kim Jong-un of North Korea fire his longest range missile yet, in a warning to the West, flying over Tokyo and then landing, of course, in the Pacific, showing the advancement of his weapon technology, a proxy, of course, of China. As the war escalates in Ukraine, another proxy war for what I believe is the geopolitical conflict. All of this, of course, building up with recent sanctions, inflation pressures, the Federal Reserve being put in a very difficult spot of hiking interest rates into a depression. This is out of Taiwan. Taiwan's defense minister on Wednesday said the island will respond to incursions into its airspace by Chinese warplanes and drones as an act of war, but gave no details on specific actions. Responding to questions from legislators, they say that any provocation by China and an aggressive stance or flybys or flyovers in Taiwan would prompt a retaliatory response and would be viewed as an act of war. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, there was another report that was released earlier this morning, panic in the city of South Korea on a failed U.S. missile test. This is from, I believe, Fox News. Failed missile launch triggers panic in South Korean city. A failed ballistic missile launch sparked panic in unusually quiet South Korean city after it crashed into the ground and triggered a huge fire, officials said Wednesday. Many residents thinking that they had possibly been under the threat of attack. So this is the takeover, as I did the video yesterday from the ground, where I believe we're on this potential precipice within the next 48 hours that we could see some kind of red herring event. Of course, the media has been telling us this. Vladimir Putin on his heels, if it's to be believed, Ukraine pushing back the Russians in place like Lyman, where Putin had allegedly taken over and then annexed these 4 new regions, about 18% of Ukraine, has prompted numerous fears of a nuclear submissile that has got a submarine, which is bearing nuclear missiles, has gone missing in the Arctic, of which intelligence trackers here in the West are taking note of and following, but prompting this idea that Vladimir Putin may respond if he views this as an existential threat in some kind of material test and or action set. So I think we're in a very, this is my opinion, a very, very dangerous slope here within the next 48 hours, as I warned yesterday, as I think that the perfect red herring would be an event in Taiwan. Now, we're starting to see the mainstream media admit that this is a war really not with Russia, but China, which is what I've also warned about. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, countries like South Africa, etc. As we move through this economic financial reset, as missiles are launched again over Tokyo and these dramatic provocations and war games. It's also important to note that China and Russia have been running war games, not just in the Arctic, and there has been fears that something imminent could happen in and around Alaska. So keep your eye on this. I've been reporting on this, of course, for years. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe much of the logistical game plan has been playing itself out in recent years, and this is very, very concerning. So please get this message out far and wide. Again, a lot of panic stirring in South Korea today on a failed missile test with the West, which resulted in an explosion and fire on the ground. And in addition to that, possible provocation in Taiwan very, very soon. Again, Taiwan is very strategic with its semiconductors. Its technological output goes in everything to cell phones, to computers, etc. And now the warning. That was from the AP News and the Taiwanese government and officials, of which Nancy Pelosi had just visited recently and ruffled a lot of feathers in Beijing, that any flyover of the state itself would be deemed and viewed as an act of war. So things really are heating up, ladies and gentlemen. All of this is about to snowball, I believe, in my humble opinion, into a cataclysm. I urge you guys, of course, to be prepared. The Federal Reserve can't hike much further without sending the westernized world and the U.S. domestic economy into a tizzy. We see no real economic wage growth, and we're living through a lot of inflation as a result of the sanctions that have been implemented by Biden and, of course, Western officials. Be prepared, get ready. I'm Christopher Greene. Like and share this video everywhere. God bless you, and of course, Jesus Christ is King and Lord of Lords. I'll keep you posted with an upcoming video very, very soon, and I'd also like to hear your comments, questions in the box below or up here.